boy woke up unable to speak. Couldn't walk, couldn't even beg for mercy. His body had betrayed him overnight. Doctors called it impossible. Every test came back normal. Pastors prayed until their voices cracked. Herbalists burned their strongest remedies. Nothing worked. But his mother knew different, because 3 weeks earlier, her son made one mistake. He bullied the wrong girl. This is the story of Richard, the golden boy who learned that sometimes the powerless aren't powerless at all. 3 weeks earlier, Richard owned the school. Rich father, designer clothes, a crowd of followers who laughed at every joke. And his favorite target? Zainab, the girl with the scars slicing down her face. Dark, jagged, impossible to ignore. Dirty Zainab, Richard's voice cut through the morning air. He leaned against the classroom door, arms crossed, grinning. Did your mechanic father try to fix your face like he fixes old cars? His friends howled. Zainab kept walking, head down, books clutched tight. She told herself she didn't care. But inside, something was cracking. Then came the cafeteria incident. Zainab had saved all week for this meal. Jollof rice, fried chicken. Her one good thing in a week of hell. She didn't see the water on her chair. Didn't notice Richard watching, waiting. She sat. Splash. The entire cafeteria went silent. Then Richard's voice exploded. Oh no, big Zainab peed herself. Laughter crashed over her like waves. A girl pointed. Look at her skirt. She wet herself like a baby. A boy slapped his knee. Maybe she saw her own reflection. Zainab's fingers gripped the table edge. Her ears burned. Her heart hammered. But she didn't run. She stood, slowly. The room held its breath. She locked eyes with Richard. Her voice was steady, clear. I may be wet, but at least I'm not drowning in arrogance like you. Silence. Richard's grin died, his face twisted. Zainab walked out, back straight, head high. She didn't let them see the pieces falling apart inside. But Richard wasn't done, not even close. 1 week later, rain had turned the schoolyard into a mud pit. Brown, thick, deep as shame. Richard blocked her path. His gang surrounded her. Where are you going, big Zainab? She didn't answer, tried to turn away. He shoved her, hard. She fell face first into the mud. Splat. Laughter exploded around her. Now your ugly face matches the ground. Mud dripped from her hair, her clothes, her face. Tears burned behind her eyes. But she didn't cry. Not for them, not here. She stood, walked away, didn't look back. But inside, something broke. Something small, but critical. That evening, Zainab sat behind the school building, knees hugged to her chest. Finally alone. Finally, she cried. Soft footsteps approached. Why are you crying, my child? Zainab looked up. Mama Khadija, the school cleaner. An old woman with silver hair and eyes that held something ancient. Zainab wiped her nose. It's Richard. He won't stop. He says my scar makes me ugly. Mama Khadija sat down slowly, reached into her bag, pulled out a small clay jar. She pressed it into Zainab's hands. What is this? Zainab frowned. An ointment. Mama Khadija's voice was barely a whisper. Rub it on your scar every night. Zainab traced the lid. Will it make my scar go away? Mama Khadija smiled. But it wasn't the smile of a cleaner. It was the smile of someone who knew. She leaned closer. And when someone insults you again, just say thank you. They will face the consequences. Say thank you? How would that stop Richard? But Mama Khadija was already walking away, her mop dragging behind her. Zainab stared at the jar. It smelled bitter, ancient, wrong, but she had nothing left to lose. That night, Zainab sat on her bed. Moonlight sliced through the window. She unscrewed the jar. The smell hit immediately. Crushed herbs, something darker beneath. She dipped her finger in, rubbed it on her scar. Cold, tingling, like electricity dancing across her skin. She placed the jar under her pillow. Tomorrow would be another battle. The next morning, Richard waited at the classroom door, arms crossed, that wicked grin already forming. "Hey, Big Zainab, has your face melted off yet? That scar makes you look like a witch." His friends prepared to laugh. The insult hung in the air, but Zainab didn't frown, didn't lower her head. She smiled, looked Richard directly in the eye, and said, "Thank you." Richard's smirk faltered. "What?" "I said thank you." She walked past him, calm, unshaken. The laughter didn't come. Richard stood frozen, watching her go. His chest tightened, his fingers twitched. Something about the way she said it didn't sit right, but he shook it off. He'd deal with her later. Except there was no later. The next day, Richard's seat was empty. By lunch, students whispered, "Where's Richard? Maybe he's sick." By day 2, teachers were concerned. Richard never missed school. By day 3, the principal sent someone to his house. What they found made everyone's blood run cold. Richard lay in bed, body weak, voice completely gone, face swollen and pale like old paper. His mother wailed. His father paced, mind racing with fear. "This isn't ordinary." His mother cried, "We must find a cure. The search for healing. The best doctor in town. Tests, medicine, injections. Nothing changed. This is beyond me," the doctor said, shaking his head. The biggest church, pastor shouting, anointing oil poured. Richard lay motionless. "This is beyond me." A famous Islamic cleric, holy verses, protective charms, charity to the poor, nothing. "This is beyond me." A powerful herbalist in a remote village, bitter potions, moonlight rituals. Richard still burning with fever. "This is beyond me." Doctors failed, pastors failed, clerics failed, herbs failed. Richard's parents had spent everything, and their son, still dying. The market. Richard's mother wandered the market, desperate, eyes red, body exhausted. She bought more herbs, turned to leave. Then she saw her, an old beggar woman, thin, wrinkled, hands stretched out. Something pulled at Richard's mother's heart. She placed money in the woman's palm. The woman grabbed her wrist. Her grip was ice cold, impossibly strong. "Your son's illness isn't natural," Richard's mother gasped. "What do you mean?" The woman's eyes, dark, ancient, knowing, stared through her. "He offended a very powerful girl. But unless she forgives him, he will never be well." Richard's mother's heart stopped. Who? Who did he offend?" The woman shook her head. "That's for you to find out." She released the wrist. Richard's mother blinked. The woman was gone, vanished like smoke. Richard's parents raced to the school, burst into the principal's office. "My son is dying. Please, who did he hurt?" The principal removed his glasses, rubbed his tired eyes. "Richard has bullied many students, but there's one he's tormented relentlessly." "Who?" "Zainab, the girl with the scar. The reckoning." They found Zainab's father in his workshop, grease-stained, wrench in hand. Richard's mother fell to her knees in the dirt, pride gone, tears streaming. "Please, our son is dying. He needs forgiveness," Zainab's father called his daughter. "Will you forgive him?" Zainab stood in the doorway, arms crossed, heart torn. This was the boy who called her a monster, who pushed her into mud, who made her life hell. And now he lay helpless. "I didn't do anything to him," she said quietly. Her father placed gentle hands on her shoulders. "No one deserves to suffer like this, not even your worst enemy." Zainab exhaled slowly. "I'll forgive him. On one condition." Richard's father grabbed her hands. "Anything. Richard leaves this school, never bullies anyone again. Ever. Done. We agree." "And," his mother added desperately, "we'll pay for your entire education, through university. We promise." Zainab closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and whispered the words that would change everything. I forgive you, Richard. Dawn. Richard's eyes opened. His mother gasped. Richard! He licked his cracked lips, swallowed, spoke. Mama? She burst into tears. His father grabbed his hands. You're healed. By day 2, Richard could sit up. By day 3, he could walk. By day 5, it was as if he'd never been sick. His parents pulled him from school immediately. You will never hurt another person. Understand? Richard didn't argue. He had felt what real suffering was. He never bullied anyone again. Epilogue. At school, everything had changed. No one laughed at Zainab anymore. No one pointed. No one whispered. They watched her from the corners of their eyes with something new. Respect, fear, awe. She walked through those hallways with her head held high. The girl they once mocked had become untouchable. The jar sits in Zainab's room now, unused. But sometimes, late at night, she takes it out and remembers. She was never powerless. And Mama Khadija? Still cleaning, still watching, still waiting for the next child who needs her gift. Because here's what Richard learned the hard way. Words cut deeper than any blade. Bullying has consequences you can't imagine. And sometimes, the person you look down on holds more power than you'll ever know. What would you have done? Forgiven or let him suffer? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this story made you think twice about how you treat people, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because true power, it's not in your wealth or your popularity. It's in knowing that everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about.